He says hello here on this afternoon. Don't forget the Reds and Indians, our showcase game tonight from Great American Ballpark. Derek, nice to talk. How are you today, pal? Okay?
Yeah, doing great, Mad Dog. Doing great, thanks.
Or you got it. Thanks for giving me a few minutes here. Let's first talk about the uniqueness of a 7-inning. I know you're at Vandy, you did this, so you're not that unknown to it, but your ball club is. How about a 7-inning doubleheader yesterday with the 2 games? Bauer goes all the way. You maneuvered properly in the first game. Give me some thoughts on that. Go ahead. Let me hear.
Yeah, it was actually pretty cool. I mean, we did it in college some. It felt a little bit American Legion type at first, but I think it can help you on any given day. You don't have to wreck a lot of pitching. And, so I think from that end, it was a good thing. Trevor came in the second game, did a nice job. And so, I thought it was kind of neat. The games went fast, and it seemed like it moved along okay.
Do you plan out the game a lot differently? You and Bell in that 7, did you plan out the 2 games differently? How you going to use your team a little bit in your pitchers? Or you just, kind of treated it and see how it went as the game went along? How'd you do that?
Yeah, well, first off, with Trevor going out the day before and doing his long toss and getting halfway prepped before we got rain, we decided to put him on the back end of the doubleheader. So that meant DeSclafani went in the first game. From that end, that was really the only planning that we did, other than kind of making sure that we had a long guy in either one of them in case something happened early on. And then after that, it's looking at like the 5th inning instead of the 6th or 7th inning when you're trying to get to your short guys.
And I know you had Sonny Gray there at Vanderbilt. Castillo 2 had 11 strikeouts in the game. Gray's been great. A good performance against the Cubs, and now Bauer. That's a good threesome to start out. As good a threesome as you're going to see in the National League. Derek, give me some thoughts there for a sec. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, so far they've fed off of one another. I mean, we got Trevor at the end of last year, and we started that process, and they got to know one another. They're all 3 very different guys, different pitchers. At the same time, I think they like competing against one another. They like to, like hanging out and sort of learning from one another too. So, from my end of it, I don't have a whole lot to say or have to do with those guys. They kind of take care of themselves.
How much different is it to coach Sonny Gray in college and coach him as a professional? College, maybe there's a little big brother aspect to it, Derek, or his friend. Professional, it's more a business association. Give me some thoughts on how you, as a pitching coach, handle Gray now compared to when you had him at Vandy. Let me hear.
Yeah, not a lot different, really. I mean, obviously, I've known him for a long time. I've known him since he was 15 years old, and so our history goes back a long time together, and really, it still feels like it was back then. Our relationship is the same. Obviously, he's a man now, and he can kind of fend for himself in a lot of ways. But in terms of how we talk about baseball, how we talk about pitching, and what we're going to try to get after, really, it's the same exact as it was at Vanderbilt.
All right, the first weekend against Detroit, they did a nice job against your bullpen. Adjustments there, Derek. What'd you do with your closer? A couple things with the Tigers there, those first 3 games at Great American. Go ahead. Let me hear.
I thought we had a little bit of bad luck, and that's not taking anything away from the Tigers because obviously they beat us, and they beat us late. I also think kind of with relievers, especially with the quick buildup, I think you're going to see a little bit of that maybe early on. Our biggest thing, I think, is just getting guys out there more. The more they pitch, the more I feel like they're going to figure it out, and I don't feel like there's any sort of panic there. I just feel like there's some time that needs to happen and get guys out there and get them in rhythm.
All right, and obviously you know that you should be able to score some runs. This is a little different for the Reds, and that hitter's haven there in your ballpark. You got a big time, even the old Reds that won all those championships in the 70s, they were a big red machine. They were not the pitching Reds, they were the hitting Reds. It's a little different feel having this Cincinnati team with these kind of arms. I love Castillo. He could be one of the best pitchers in the National League if he isn't already. Different kind of feel for this Reds team. Derek, thoughts there? Let me hear.
Yeah. I mean, a lot has been said about our pitching. I still think offensively we have a good club. I mean, we acquired some guys in the offseason. Moose, I think, makes a big difference in our team. I think Castellanos makes a big difference in our team. And again, like if you're judging it after the first 7, 8, 9 games, I'm not sure you're getting a great picture of what we're going to be. But at the same time, I think, internally we feel really, really good about what we're going to do offensively and feel like we're going to score runs. And if we put the pitching with it, that means that we've got a pretty good chance at winning a lot of games.
You sure do. Well done there, Derek. Keep up the good work. We will check in as we move it along. Good start with the Reds. Appreciate a few minutes here today.
Okay, thanks a lot. Take care.